So the Ice Monkey Paragon, the Herald of Everfrost, is finally here. And this is gonna be our first test of this insane Paragon. And I say insane because this guy is not meant to be a damage Paragon, apparently. It's kind of a unique concept which we've never seen before in BT6, at least not in terms of the Paragons. Usually all the Paragons that we have so far are just, you know, you place them down and they just do a bunch of damage and you win. Now I especially like this specific boss event that we're about to play today. This is a Ninja Kiwi boss event. This is not a custom boss battle, and here is what we're dealing with. This is Elite Blastopopulus with basically all the best Paragons banned, including the Engie, by the way. The boss health is at 200%, but keep in mind Blastopopulus is this fiery boss which you can actually chill down by using ice towers. He has this heat bar, and whenever you proc the heat bar, basically all of your towers are stunned, your cooldowns are reset, and it's not a good thing to happen. But now that we have the Ice Paragon, I actually tried this thing in versus the normal boss, and it was kind of nuts because it was not allowing the tier 5 boss to overheat like ever. On top of that, we're gonna try and combine the Ice Paragon with other Paragons that basically have a lot of projectiles. Now, I would have loved to try out the Spike, but I have a different idea in mind. The Dart Paragon is obviously insane versus Blastopopulus because he releases these rocks and then the Juggernaut balls are being kept inside of the rocks. So in a way, Blastopopulus kind of pops himself versus the Dart Paragon. But the Tag Paragon has a lot of projectiles as well. And so it's a little bit counterintuitive because the more projectiles you use versus Blastopopulus, you're proccing the heat bar a little bit faster, but then the Ice Paragon is going to be chilling it. So yeah, we have plans for this one for sure, but let me get the farming going. So we're kind of trying to greed out as much as possible with a single Dart Monkey, and I think that needs to stop, or at least we need to get some upgrades going in the Dart. So let me get the increased production, I guess quick shots, and we're going to go for the crossbow as soon as possible, I think. Alright, so here's what we're doing in terms of the farming. So 3 marketplaces so far, all of these guys are in range of the discount village. Let me just get an alchemist for these lead balloons, have it like, maybe just have it be able to buff the Dart, actually, maybe have it like this. I mean, this is obviously going to be a rubber to gold, but if we can throw the AMD on this Dart, then we can pop the camel leads on 59, and let me just get a couple of upgrades going on these marketplaces. Yeah, so basically Minneapolis, I turned off all the starts, so I'm going to sell all of these guys. Let's just do it like this, and then start playing a couple of marketplaces again in the range of this Monkey City Village, and I think that's going to be about it before the tier 1 boss. Alright, so for the tier 1 boss, here is how things are currently standing. We bought the rubber to gold alchemist, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 5 marketplaces, 1 favorite trade spot, so we increase the sellback a little bit. And I guess the idea is going to be just this, just an elite defender as we usually do. Actually, is this guy even in range of the favorite traits? He's not. Can I have him somewhere in the range of both the village and the favorite traits both if possible? Oh, I don't know about that one actually. So what is more important, getting extra sellback or getting a couple of discounts? I don't know actually, because the semi-all is an expensive upgrade. You know what? I vote extra sellback, which is not that much because they recently nerfed these these boats. Actually, you now need 3 to get the max buff. So let's go like this at this kind of strong. Yeah, let's see how everything goes, and just don't forget to farm basically as all this is happening. So in terms of the farming, I'm just gonna be buying central markets, I think, and then we sell them for Banana Central as we usually do. Now this call number 2, it's not going as fast, I'm gonna be honest. This is round 45, although we did buy the elite defender a little bit later, so maybe that's, you know, impacting this pace a little bit. I really want to leak some lives actually. Maybe we can leak some of these pink balloons if the boat doesn't. Oh, there we go. I think we leaked a little bit. There we go. Get some extra attack speed going. See, this is gonna speed things up. Yeah, obviously the early tier is not being able to buy the Ice Paragon. The Ice Paragon is kind of cheap-ish, I want to say. He is 300k, I believe, on medium. Yeah, there we go. So that's not a huge price, I don't think. I think it's actually quite decent for the thing that it's doing, because I've seen that it's gonna improve free play a little bit. The ability is insane, by the way, if you guys don't know what that thing does. Once you use it, it can freeze everything, like literally everything, including bosses. Oh, we're about to leak a little bit, so let's go back on first, clear out all these balloons, and go back on strong. There it is. I think we have this thing with the elite defender only. But yeah, insane ability, and then if you time it correctly, you can actually nullify the effects of a boss skull, which is nuts. Like, the skull is actually not gonna proc if you do it correctly, so that is something that we're definitely gonna try and do on one of these calls. But I think we do have this thing, so I wouldn't mind just chilling for a second and then just getting the farming going, honestly. So we have about 20k, and all these guys sell for about 18,000, so that's 90k, and in total Banana Central is about 130, 140, I think. Alright, so let's wait until we make $45,000 in total, which is gonna be just great because we're about to finish up the tier 1 boss, and I'm gonna turn off auto start actually, and let's sell everything that we need to sell in order to get the banana essentials. So have it like, wait, did I overshoot that number? Actually, let's go like this, sell one more. Oh, no, I was super close. We're missing about 6k. All right, so let's sell, get the banana essential. I really want to get an, oh, wait a minute, NGs are banned. I was gonna say I want to get an overclock, but no. Okay, so for the tier 2, what are we doing? Just the standard stuff, right? Get a bunch of BRFs, and then hopefully we'll make a bunch of cash so we get the ice paragon a little bit earlier. All right, so the game plan for the tier 2 is pretty clear. We get the MAD. The thing is, I'm not sure if the MAD is gonna be able to survive versus 63 by itself. So let's time the first ability with the first wave, and then, I don't know, we might want to buy something like this, I was thinking, just like a 402 boomerang just to help out with the small balloons. It's gonna take a little while for sure, but the man has this, and because this is pretty standard procedure for everyone, I'm just gonna show you guys the end of this, and then we're just gonna keep spending the money to farm and just get the ice paragon as soon as possible. Alright, so last call, this is a pretty easy clear for the man. We did proc the heat bar, it seems like, but yeah, around 72, we've been just farming throughout this whole time, so even though the boss is not popping on time, we've not been exactly falling behind on like the gameplay or anything like that. So we're definitely gonna have the money for the ice paragon for the tier 3, and I'm just wondering if we're only using the ice paragon or if we're buying some other towers to help it out as well. Alright, in comes the tier 3, double HP by the way, so might not be as indicative of the power of the ice paragon, but we're gonna try and defeat this thing by only using the ice paragon. I placed a couple of sacrificial towers, sure, I'm gonna put like 20k extra into this thing, so this is gonna be a degree 22. Now its range is gonna get reduced by a lot, so we have to kind of think about that. I think this placement is kind of fine for the ice paragon, but let's see how much damage this thing actually does to bosses. So one thing that we're likely not gonna have to worry about is just Blast the Populace overheating, I don't think, but is the damage gonna be enough is the question. And there goes the first skull. We do get a little bit of a heat bar going, but then, oh wait a minute, wait, so with this passive absolute zero ability, I think he actually chills down the boss if I'm not mistaken. Let's try and notice that on the second skull, and what I'm gonna try and do is I'm gonna try and time this freeze ability for the skull. Did I get it? Oh my god, no, I think I barely did not get it because I see the eyes are fiery on Blast the Populace, right? Wait, but I'm not seeing any meteors or anything like that. I think we actually got it. I think we actually stopped the skull from progging. That is nuts. And let's watch the heat bar now. So it's gonna get filled. And I'll watch the passive ability. So I think the passive ability gets triggered every couple of seconds. And let's see if the ability is gonna chill down this heat bar by a little bit. Oh my god, the attacks are chilling it by a lot, actually. It doesn't even matter. Yeah, this Ice Paragon is insane versus Blast the Populace. Let's try and time the ability. So freeze the skull. You can only do it once per boss, by the way. So yeah, exactly. Well, not once per boss, but once per tier of boss. And because we actually got it on the second skull, that's why it didn't work this time around. Alright. But I mean, it's dealing with it, right? It's doing some damage. It's not attacking as fast with the other Paragons, but I think the idea behind the Ice Paragon is you want to combine it with something else. Like, you're not using this thing as a DPS one, right? But yeah, it's going kind of fine with the damage. I mean, the single Ice Paragon seems to be defeating this tier 3 elite Blast the Populace. Keep in mind, double HP on this boss. He's not overheating. We're never gonna see the heat bar actually get procced ever, I don't think. And I'm just kind of thinking, what do we want to do for the other tiers? Because obviously this guy's damage is gonna fall off. So I'm thinking, do we start playing off of the Ice Paragon as a support Paragon now, or do we just buy a higher degree on it? Something I'm noticing with this Paragon is because it doesn't exactly attack as fast, I can see DDTs leaking through this thing. Actually, just like some super fast DDTs around, I don't know, like maybe 150, maybe the 200s or something like that. So unless you give this thing a lot of attack speed, he is gonna be leaking small balloons. I think the main idea is just using him as a damage amplification tower, right? Because it's plus 10 and all these cold attacks, I think they get like plus 50 extra damage, which is nuts. So for the tier 4 boss, this is the plan that I have. I'm gonna buy a tag Paragon like this, where the Inferno Ring is, and I'm just gonna upgrade this thing fully. So I'm gonna put all the money that you can into this thing. This is gonna be a degree 57, alright? And so now the idea is that we use the Ice Paragon the way it was meant to be used, as a support Paragon. So let's also watch the heat bar of Blast the Populace, so let's see how much of a difference it's gonna make. This boss has 14 million HP, so things are starting to get a little bit more serious. So let's first off dump the meteor of the tank Paragon. We're gonna proc the first skull, which is completely fine, by the way. We're gonna try and time the ability for, I guess, the next skull. That should be okay, and let's just see how much extra damage this thing does. Now, I think the damage application stacks with a Super Brill, actually. So I'm gonna buy a Super Brill like this, and now when the boss comes near the tag, I think this should just go ham. I'm even gonna use the Maelstrom ability. Oh yeah, that's a decent amount of damage actually. I mean, for attack Paragon, because the attack is not the most expensive Paragon, not the strongest one for sure. I also have the Ice Paragon set on strong, so let me just keep dumping all of these abilities. Can these two guys do it actually? Keep in mind, this is like two primary Paragons. We're mainly playing off of the primaries with I guess with this whole boss battle. Alright, so that's good. I mean, I accidentally used the Frost ability, so we're gonna have to wait for that one, I guess, for skull number 4 or 5, whatever it is. But so far, we're doing great. I'm just kind of thinking what we want to do for the next one, for the tier 5, because obviously these two are not gonna be enough. We're gonna need a Paragon that's gonna kind of work well together with both of these guys. Do we need a boat Paragon? I'm not sure we need a boat Paragon. We can buy the boat Paragon. Let's try and time the ability, by the way. So we are gonna please freeze right now. Oh, that's super close. We're gonna get this thing? No, we barely missed it. Yeah, so it has a little bit of a timing to it, right? This skull freeze thingy, you can't just use it immediately. But at least we now know that with this reduced range, by the way, because we're not amplifying the damage 100% of the time. Like, this range with the ice is super small thanks to just the boss being blasted populous. But what we do know is that we are able to do at least 14 million damage in a pretty short amount of time. Yeah, there goes the tier 4. Alright, so we are missing a lot of damage because the tier 5 is gonna have a lot of HP. And these two are gonna be nice, don't get me wrong, but we're gonna need a lot more than what we currently have. So how about we go full primary only for this boss? I think that's gonna be fun. So let's put all the money that we have into all these primary Paragons. They're super cheap, so we're gonna get some high degrees for sure. And we're gonna get a lot of Paragons. I mean, this is gonna be Paragon number 4. Yeah, let me just have the Glaive Dominus like this. The range is gonna get reduced by a lot, but I guess that's just something we're gonna have to live with. So put all the money that we can into this thing, and now we can buy. Actually, is there a Paragon limit on this one? It's 4. All right, we've reached the max, guys. On second thought, maybe we can get a higher degree on the ice. So let's have the ice like this now. Let's try and buy it as, oh, we have the super rail, so let's have it like this then, the icicle impale. Let's put all the money that we can into this thing. Well, actually save a little bit for some damage amplification towers. I think we're gonna get the cripple mob as well. What's the degree that we're gonna get? This is gonna be nice. 53. Alright, let's have this guy on strong, get the cripple mob, and I think we're ready, guys. Full primary with the new Ice Paragon versus 70 million. That is insane. That is a lot of HP that this guy has. Alright, so are the primary Paragons, with the help of the new Ice Paragon, gonna be able to deal with the tier 5 double HP elite blast the populace? We're about to find out. This guy's still not attacking, by the way, because of the range reduction. So as soon as he attacks, I'm expecting a huge damage spike. We should also buy the super build, by the way. And as soon as we get into the range of the attack, this damage should skyrocket. So let's go like this, use the attack ability. We're doing a lot of damage, guys. It's only the primaries, which are not exactly the strongest Paragons in the game. Actually, they're kind of the weakest, honestly, with the exception of the bomb. But I don't think you want to be using the bomb with the ice, because it's just attacking super slow. So let's try and time the ability now. Let's try and freeze this skull. Did I time it? Yes, I think I did. Okay, that's perfect. Look at this thing. Nothing is happening. So nothing getting released. I mean, using it once per skull, I guess that's nice. How does it work versus phase? What does phase do on a skull besides jump? I guess he moves the portal. Wait, that's actually going to be interesting. Does he like not jump? Does that mean that we can beat phase on shorter maps now? Ooh, that's an interesting one. I've actually never seen that one. And if you guys are noticing something, this heat bar is not going anywhere. So it naturally goes up when you proc a skull, but then it just gets chilled down. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use the ability now, and I'm going to see if it's going to cool it down. Let me just dump it. I mean, it's not immediately there. Oh yeah, look at this thing. When the freeze hits, that's where it takes it off entirely. That is so good, actually. Yeah, this thing is just likely the best Paragon that we have versus Blast the Populace, right? Not in terms of damage, but in terms of just nullifying its effects. And yeah, look at our primary boys doing it, especially the attack Paragon, right? So if I click the attack Paragon, how many pops are we expecting? We did like 14 million pops for the tier 4, so this is at, yeah, it's about there for sure. It's about there. It's doubling it. And then how is the dart doing? We just bought the dart and we just bought the boomerang, so that's nice because we have like 18 million on the dart and then 12, closer to 13 million on the boomer. So everyone is kind of doing their part, it seems like, versus this boss, especially with the Ice Paragon. Although we need to kind of get it going, because once the boss leaves the range of the attack, the damage is gonna slow down by a significant amount. I know, guys, one last skull, but we're gonna start missing a lot of damage because the boss has now left the range of the Ice Paragon. Look at how small this range is, and also the range of the attack. Oh no. Alright, 3 million HP. This is pretty much the last time that we're gonna be able to like do some solid damage to blast the populace, but I think it's gonna be fine. Yeah, we do have it. So this range decrease is pretty annoying, but we do actually make this thing happen with the primary Paragons. And yeah, this ice, I think he played a significant role in just amplifying the damage, nullifying the skulls, and he is insane, by the way, versus Blast the Populace. So not that many pops, only 5.5 million pops, but I think this guy just enabled all of the other Paragons, because look at the pops on the other ones, 36, 29, and 25 on the Boomerang. They're just a simple support and enabling type of a Paragon, which helps everyone else, but it's also kind of nice by himself. So that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.